Hey girl, hey. I would look like or feel like a floating body with this white background. I feel like it'll help you see me better, see what I'm doing better. I'm just playing around with some stuff. But anyway, let's get into this makeup for beginners. I'm Sky.Onjahnae for those of you who are new here. I forget to say all of that because I'm trying to get straight into the video. So yeah, I'm Sky.Onjahnae for all my new subscribers. But if you aren't subscribed, welcome. Stay along for the ride, and I'm sure you'll be a subscriber later on down the line. So because this is beginner makeup, we're gonna go pretty easy on the eyes. I'm not gonna throw too much at you at once. We're just trying to get the foundation of how to do a full face as far as being a beginner, where to place things, and all of that good jazz. So I usually like to start off with my brows. I lied, I actually like to start off by priming, and I'm going to be using my Milk Hydro Grip. If it's going to focus, yes. My Milk Hydro Grip primer. I love this stuff. It literally grabs the product. So like it kind of acts like glue to your foundation or whatever the product is. The thing is with this is you have to wait about a minute to a minute and a half before it to get, I don't want to say tacky because it makes it sound like glue, but in a sense, you want to wait till it gets tacky because that's what's going to make it grab that foundation, that concealer. I go right in with like a brow gel dupe. That's what I'm going to call it because brow gels are just so expensive and you can honestly get the same effect with using different products. And my product is my Got To Be Glue. What is this? The sprinkle glue. It's the gel version, not the spray. So I literally take a dab of that and put it on my eyebrows. I'm sorry if you hear a bunch of noise. I think that's the garbage trucks driving past and my window's open because you girl, it is hot. Okay, I literally had to take a second shower because I was sweating so much getting everything set up to record. Now brow gel is optional. I just like to do it because it helps tame my brow hair, especially when they aren't done. Even though my brows are micro shaded, those little hairs here and the hair that's my actual brow hair can get a little loud. So this just helps bring all of those hairs nice and flat and helps me shape my brow at the same time. So it helps me see the natural shape. So when I go in to do all my brow filling, it's easier for me. Now to fill in my brows, what I use now is I use a brow pomade. This is the, let me see if you can see that. It is the Benefit Professional Brow Pomade. But for beginners, I do recommend a brow pencil just because you have a little bit more control with that. With this, you have to use a brush and you have to know how much product to put on, which I am going to show you that. The steps are the same when it comes to whether you're using pomade or pencil or powder or anything. It's pretty much the same technique. I take my brush and always use your pinky as like your kickstand. It's supposed to help you. Sorry, the fan is on, so my nose is running, but I told you I'm hot, so I need the fan on. So what you want to do is use your pinky and rest it on your cheek, and that's going to help you. And you don't want to start right at the beginning of your brow. You kind of want to line the bottom of it, but starting about right here, not directly in the front because brow hair is really fine towards the front, so we don't want to make you look too boxy. Then do the same at the top. And honestly, you're just following the natural shape of your brow. You don't want to do too much because your brows look away for a reason. They're shaped this way for a reason because that's how they fit your face. You know how you see makeup artists and they literally do the same brows for everybody? Yeah, we're not doing that. We want to do brows that fit our face. And when we get to the front, we just do light strokes. Also, as you do this, you want to make sure you blend those hairs. Not blend those hairs, blend that product in with your brow. Your brow hair should not move because you already have that product on there that's going to keep them nice and flat. This is literally to blend out and buff out some of that product so it isn't really harsh. And then you're just filling in all the parts that look a little balding, that's all right. And don't worry if your lines are not, if your brow isn't like as crisp as this. That's what the point of concealer is for. We're gonna go in and clean all that afterwards. But you do want to try to make sure it's as neat as possible so you don't have much cleanup. It just makes your life a lot easier when you do that. And the shape of the eye, brow, all depends on you. It's whatever you like. Do what's best for you, homegirl. So what I like to do next, instead of using a concealer to shape in my brows, this is optional as well. I use a eyeshadow base because I am applying eyeshadow. This is my P. Louise. It's in the shade Rumor 5. Y'all can see that. And what this does, it just helps base my lid. So when it comes to applying my eyeshadow, I don't have to oppose. This is obviously in comparison to using a concealer. With using a base, all I have to do is cut my brow and blend this into my lid, then apply my eyeshadow. If I used a concealer, I would have to conceal and put it on my eyelid and then set it with powder. This just avoids having to do that extra stuff and avoids, sometimes it kind of depends on the product, it kind of avoids it like from creasing into your lid. So that's why I just prefer to use base when it comes to lining the bottom of my brows. So you want to make sure you're using a kind of a flat brush. This is my crayon case brush. I want to say it's brush 5, but I don't have any numbers on it, but it's just a flat brush. You don't want to be afraid to apply product, because that's what can make your makeup, whether it's your whether it's your eyeshadow or your skin application. Don't be afraid to use product. And it's best to do it in one motion, because if you go ahead and just try to make it perfect the first go around, you could end up actually making the line not like, you can usually make the line look squiggly or not, it won't be straight. So the best advice I'll have is to just go ahead and draw your line smoothly once. That way you don't have any breaks in your product. And then if you do see any mess up, which I really don't have any, you can just clean it up. And then because this is eyeshadow base, we can just pat that in, because we don't need to do a whole lot of blending because it's all one color. I'm using my Morphe 39S palette. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at her! Look at her! So you want to take a big fluffy brush. This is my Morphe M505 brush. You know anything about me, you know that I love me a Morphe brush. These are by far my favorite brushes. So what I literally do is take that darker brown and you start at the ends and pat that in. Pat that in right. Pat it in right here at the end, or where the corner of your eye is, and blend it inwards. And that's going to create kind of a contour of your eye. Then I want to take a smaller, it's fluffy but it's more dense, so I'm able to pack that brown in. I think I actually want to use this one. I'm going to do a little mixture of something. And we just packing that in. It's a little shimmery. A little more shimmer than I wanted, but we're here now and we're not going back. My signature thing is to add a lot of brightness in my inner corner, because I do have small and hooded eyes. It kind of widens my eye a little bit. So that's just another tip for those of you who have smaller eyes or hooded eyes. It helps widen your eye when you apply lighter colors right here in your tear duct. Okay, so now our eyes are done. We're gonna move on to complexion, which is like foundation and concealer and stuff like that. I love my Juvia's Place I Am Velvet. What is this? I Am Magic Velvet Matte Foundation. One, it's very full coverage, and you don't need to color correct. You literally, because I do have some dark spots. It's okay, baby, we working on this skin, but I do have some dark spots because I like to pick up my face because I'm childish. And I also use the Juvia's Place I Am Match Concealer that matches with this. So what I like to do first, I am going to apply my concealer, my highlight concealer, where I want it to be. So go right in here. And the reason I do this first is because I like to let my concealer sit for a little while before blending it out, like let it dry down. And what that does is it just helps with the coverage. And the point of highlighting, with contour and highlighting, you want to place it, the reason you place it under your eyes, forehead, down your nose, chin, or whatever, is because that's where the sun naturally hits our face. So that's why we need to apply that there, because it's highlighting. And then what I like to do is I take that same brush that I use to cut the bottom of my eyebrow, and I use that to do the top. So I use my foundation, I mean. And what I'm doing is I'm literally just applying this. And I only apply a little at a time of this because, like I said, it is very full coverage. So I don't, and it's thick. So I don't want to pile all of this on my face and I get hot. Because like I said, I get hot fast. This is my Morphe M439 brush. It's just a thick, dense brush. I like this to blend out my foundation. One, because it's so big, so it'll cover so much space. But do you see how that dark spot just got covered? And then we blend into our neck. And I am avoiding those areas that where I apply the concealer. And the reason I'm doing that is because when it comes to your concealer, with any product really, it blends, it's made for skin, so it blends better on top of skin. Not necessarily, like, it'll still blend on top of product. Like if I was to go ahead and apply foundation all over my face, then apply this, it will still blend, but that's when you can run into problems like creasing or looking cakey because you've added so much product to your face. So applying it straight to bare skin really helps. So I forgot to tell y'all what shade this is. This is shade 14 from Juvia's Place. And this is shade 7. This is what I'm going to be using to contour. Still letting this dry down because that's where I want most of my coverage in my highlight area. So I like to guide it from the top of my ear here, because you want it like over your cheekbone. You don't want to put it directly on your cheekbone because then your face will look flat. You want it to be slightly above your cheekbone area. And you don't want to put it under because then your face will look like it's hanging. So right at the top of your cheekbone is the best spot for that. With this, I am going to take a beauty blender to blend out my concealer just because I just love blenders. They just give more of an airbrush look to me. So we're literally just going to blend out that concealer. And you want to blend it going upwards because we're trying to lift our face and snatch it. And I'm not scraping it around my face. I'm literally like tapping and pushing it in. And you want to make sure this is damp so it can absorb some of that product. And I like to blend my contour first just because afterwards, when I'm blending out my highlight, it can get rid of any harsh lines from blending out. Since this is a shade or two darker than my actual complexion, it helps blend out that harsh line. I don't know if you can see that line right there. Once I go ahead and blend out my highlight concealer, it'll all just look like one nice blend. So instead of using a sponge for my nose contour, I'm actually going to use a brush, which is this small detail brush. And I'm going to take that little bit, because I only put a dot, just a dot, not a lot, because your nose contour can go way left if you put too much. I'm literally using the sides of this brush to just blend it down the sides, the bridge of my nose. And I like to bring it up and blend a little into my eyebrow, because it gives it a more snatched look, gives it more snatched yet natural look. Now I'm going in with another sponge. I use a separate sponge. I have like 3 sponges, but I use a separate sponge for each step. So I use a separate sponge for my contour and my highlight, and sometimes I might use a sponge for my foundation, but I just didn't do it today. No specific reason, I just didn't. So now we're gonna go in, and I like to blend out my under eyes first. And with this, you want to stay in the general area that you applied it. Like, look at this coverage, and that's literally from letting it sit and dry up a little bit. Because this is very creamy, it didn't dry down too much where I wouldn't be able to blend it. You see what I mean? Like, it's getting rid of any of those harsh lines. So the whole idea of contour and highlighter, we're trying to get the ideal face shape, which is oval. And because I have a round shape, that's why I like to focus my concealer towards the middle section. So I bring everything else, like the focal point, towards the middle, and so it's not so much wider, and it's more like a line towards the middle. If that makes sense, I hope it's making sense. But also, you see where I'm blending. So today I am not baking. We are just going to, I might bake. I think I am going to bake. I am going to set it with my this is my One Size Beauty setting powder, and I'm going to take my powder puff. This is really great if you have, especially if you have large pores, because it just blurs everything. I'm gonna set our under eyes. So we're going to set our whole face eventually, but right now, because we are baking, we do want to put it only in those areas where we applied that highlight concealer. And also, we're gonna go on here just to make our jawline a little more snatched. You don't want to add too much powder because you don't want flashback. That's why when it comes to my product and the price points, when it comes to like my setting and prepping, those are usually more luxury or prestige is what Ulta Beauty calls it, but the more higher end makeup. And when it comes to like other things like eyeshadow and like eyeliner, those type of things, I tend to go a little more on the drugstore side. So while I bake, that's when I like to go through and finish up anything that I have to do with my eyes. Even though I do have smaller eyes, black eyeliner kind of just makes my eyes pop, especially when I have lighter inner corners. And what you want to do is you want to take the same powder puff that your powder's on, pull your eyelid down this way you don't poke yourself. And it's just going to glide on. Boom. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. Boom. When it comes to your lashes, I'm going to show you a trick that, listen, your lashes are going to go on every single time. I always apply mascara, especially if you had eyeshadow, because it'll eliminate any fallout on your lashes that your eyeshadow may have caused, so that way your lashes can all be one color. I like to use my Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. It's literally like...
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa think I'm talking to her. We ain't talking to her. But anyway, you see this eye compared to this eye just from that mascara, baby. And if I wanted to, I could literally just wear this, but I like to wear lashes. I just think lashes finish is like the finishing touches to any makeup look. It's like the cherry on top. I'm going to put the eyeliner directly on my eye, over my lid, on my lash line, where as if I was putting on as if I was putting on eyeliner. So just take my lashes, and you want to hold your mirror down below so you can actually see where to place it. And it's on there. See how this side, even though I'm not even done with my makeup, this side of my face is giving fierce, it's giving that girl, and this side is like, I'm that girl, but I haven't stepped into it yet. Like, we're that girl, period. But like, this side is like, I know I'm that girl. This side is that girl, but she's still trying to figure it out. Now she has realized, she's figured out that she's that girl. So while I'm still baking, as you can see, the powder, it does not look like I have as much powder on anymore, and that's the point of baking. It's also setting your makeup, especially like for myself, because I have very oily skin. It sets your makeup as well as it helps to kind of soften that highlight concealer, because it is 2 shades lighter than my actual complexion. It helps soften it and warms it up to my skin, which is why the powder looks like it's kind of disappearing. Then I go in with my Juvia's Place bronzer. I love this stuff. I use the bottom one, and this is just going to bring back that warmth to our face. And because this is so pigmented, I like to pat it in instead of just kind of rubbing it all over. I feel like with patting, I have a little more control. But already like this side compared to this side, that's girl. And then I am going to use this same brush, but I'm going to use the side of it to go down my nose. Move into my brow area. I'm trying to hurry up because my camera is dying. I'm still not done yet. I'm going to go in and do my lips because I literally wipe my powder off at the very last minute. And I like to overline my lips because I can do that regardless if I have full lips already or not. It gives me brats because I'm a Bratz doll. I like to draw an X right here because it helps kind of like guide my Cupid's bow. You know who has a perfect Cupid's bow? Rihanna. You know who also has a perfect Cupid's bow? My mother, but she did not pass that on to me. Y'all, I'm sorry I cannot talk and apply my lip liner, but you see how it's already giving pout? I'm kind of looking like Chigo with this dark upper lip or something. And I love me a nude lip. So guess what color we doing? Nude. And I'm using my NYX, what is this? My soft matte lip cream. This is a dupe for the Dulce of Colors lipstick that I used to wear all the time. But they stopped selling it at Ulta and I needed something, so this was the closest thing and I love it. Is I'm going to pat it into my skin even further because that's going to set the whole face. Finish off with the set. Sickening how good this looks. Blush just really top. And I'm a blush girl. I go a little overboard with the blush, but that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to. This is my face, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I like to just add that right on top of my contour. That way it brings the cheek together. And also I like to apply a little on my nose. It kind of gives more of a soft look to me, to the face. And then I go back in because I did go a little overboard with that powder, that brush I used to dust off that powder. And I'm just gonna tone that down. And we go spray. I use 2 setting sprays. This is the Benefit Pore Professional to help me minimize these pores, and this is to help mattify. Okay, and now we are done. We are beat to the quads. Okay, we are looking good. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. What was your favorite part? What did you learn from this video? If you want to see what other content you want to see from me, I'm here for you. Okay, so yeah, thank you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video.